Osseo will get the dunk at the buzzer. For the 8th time in school history, a Maple Girls softball team is going to state.
Hello and welcome to Sports Jam for the week of March 1st. I'm John Jacobson.
And I'm Jay Wilcox. We have a busy show this week as the postseason rolls on for winter sports with highlights from section and state competition.
And later we'll meet a boys basketball player from Maple Grove whose skills and leadership could help the Crimson win another section title.
And let's start with boys hockey. Maple Grove started the season very strong, then hit a few rough patches. But they were playing well coming into the playoffs and took aim at the Section 5AA title. The Crimson faced Blaine for a third time this season. Scoreless late in the first, Maple Grove power play and Henry Nelson throws the shot on net and hits it for a 1-0 Crimson lead. Early in the second period, Crimson freshman Landon Gunderson threads a pass to Josh Giuliani and he tips it in for a 2-0 lead. In the third, Blaine on a rush, but Jack Winicky is in great position here and makes the stop. Blaine's Finn Loftus walks out of the corner and gets to the net, but Winicky with another big save. And then at the other end, a 2-on-1 rush for the Crimson. Sam Jacobs to Chris Kernan for a 3-0 Crimson lead. And they do a great job blocking shots, and Winicky stands tall with 45 saves on the night. Maple Grove is the Section 5AA champion with a 3-0 win. Armstrong Cooper knocked off top seed Orono in the Section 2A semifinals. They played in their first section final as a co-op and the first since 2001 for either school as a separate program. The Wings facing Delano in the final. The Tigers get one as Gunnar Paulson fires the shot home from the slot. It's 1-0 Tigers just under 5 minutes in. Less than 5 minutes later, it's Mike Weber picking up a loose puck at center ice, and he goes in to score on a partial breakaway. Delano is up 2-0 after the opening period. But Armstrong Cooper dominates much of the rest of the way. Jack Campion to Noah Wiesjohn for a goal, and it's 2-1. Then in the third, Wiesjohn on a rush up the left side, and he sets up Ben Anderson for the goal. The Wings are fired up. They tie it 2-2, and this game goes to overtime. In the first OT, AC nearly ends it, but the shot here glances off the pipe, and this game goes to a second overtime. And that's where the Tigers win it. Adam Brown with the steal, and he sets up Jesse Peterson for the wrist shot. Armstrong Cooper with a good effort, but they fall short in a heartbreaking 3-2 loss in double overtime.
We're used to seeing either Wayzata or Edina, or sometimes both teams, in the Section 6AA hockey championship game. But this year, neither made it, as the top two seeds, Blake and Benilde St. Margaret's, earned their way into the title game at Mariucci Arena, and this was a good one. First period, Blake's William Latsky lasers a shot, short side, first goal of the game. Second period, Benilde's Blake Messenberg sneaks the shot through traffic and in, and the Red Knights draw even at 1-1. Less than 2 minutes later, Benilde takes the lead. The rebound goal here for Charlie Bischel. The Bears come right back, though. Joe Miller walks in, snaps the shot home, and it's 2-2. The Red Knights go back on top. Asher Connolly gets to the goal and tucks it in for a 3-2 lead. The fight continues into the third period. Blake's Will Svendal pinches in, buries the loose puck, and we are tied at 3. Overtime is required, and late in the first OT, Blake's Gavin Best breaks in alone, and he's taken down from behind. A penalty shot is awarded to the Bears. And Best, with the section title on his stick, beats Benilde goalie Carson Limesand. The Bears win 4-3, and they are Section 6AA champions. Blake earned the number 2 seed for the state tournament and meets Maple Grove in the AA quarterfinals Thursday morning at 11 o'clock at XL Energy Center. The boys' swimming and diving season wrapped up Saturday with some great competition at the University of Minnesota. Wayzata and Maple Grove both finished in the top 7 in the Class AA meet. Trojans were 4th behind champion Edina, Chanhassen Chaska, and Minnetonka. The Crimson placed 7th. Wayzata's 200-yard medley relay team took first place, while Maple Grove finished fourth in that same race. The Trojans' Casey Stowe repeated as 100-yard backstroke champion and finished second in the 200-yard IM. Daniel Baltus of Maple Grove had fifth-place finishes in both the 50 and 100-yard freestyle races. Nick Kale of Wayzata and Kelby Modine of Maple Grove placed fourth and fifth, respectively, in the 100-yard breaststroke. In Class A, Breck Blake wins its fourth consecutive state title. The Bearstings racked up 342 points. Benilde St. Margaret's placed 11th. Breck Blake won the 200-yard medley relay race, and Charlotte Crosby won both the 50 free and 100-yard backstroke races, with several other Bearstings earning top 5 finishes in the meet. Congratulations to them on another championship season.
No local teams advanced to the state wrestling tournament this year, but it was a very good showing for local individuals. Action from the final night Saturday, starting with Class 3A third-place matches. After Wayzata's Cal Lonnquist has his hand raised at 113, it's a tough go for the other local guys in third place. 126, Wayzata's Kyler Wong is taken down by Pearson Manville of Shakopee. Manville wins 8-3. Wong ends up fourth. At 170, Osseo's Jacob Meisner shoots, but it's countered. Josh Othout of Faribault lifts Meisner and brings him to the mat for the takedown. And Meisner loses a 4-3 decision. At 195, Matt Kukowski of Wayzata facing Joey Johnson of Shakopee. Johnson gets the takedown here on his way to a 4-1 victory over Kukowski to take third. And at 220, Osseo's Jagger Shack in overtime against Tommy Johnson of Shakopee. Johnson gets around for the winning takedown, and he edges Shack in the third place match 3-1. Then it's on to championship matches, starting with 120 pounds in Class 2A. Joey Thompson of Totino Grace looking for his third state title. He gets the takedown and beats Max Peterson of Byron at 7-4. So Thompson is indeed a 3-time champion. To Class 3A, Wayzata's top-seeded Cale Swenson is in control, getting the takedown on his way to a 9-2 decision over Nick Novak of New Prague to win his first state title, and Swenson is pumped up. The news isn't as good for his teammate Caden Homey at 182 pounds. Roman Rogatsky of Stillwater locks the cradle on and gets the pin, as Homey with a good showing, though, to place second. And at 195, it's tied 1-1 in overtime when R.J. Tricolas of Hopkins shoots and gets the takedown to beat William Bush of New Prague 3-1. It's also his first championship, and here's what the three local champs had to say.
I thought I was the best kid going in, and I showed it. I worked really hard all season. It's safe to say I outworked almost everybody I wrestled. I just want to thank all my coaches and my practice partners for pushing me every day, and without them this would not be possible.
It feels amazing. It's surreal. It doesn't even feel real yet. It hasn't kicked in, but I just know my coaches and all my teammates, Deontay, Demetrius, we put so much work in to get this here. It feels so good. It feels great.
Third one feels, just as good as the other two. Just go out there and just had fun and just enjoyed the moment, and it was amazing.
A great Saturday, Jay, for a lot of local kids.
Yeah, I don't remember a time being at the final night like that where there was many local guys still alive. So congratulations, of course, especially to the three champs. Still to come on Sports Jam, playoff girls basketball highlights, plus a look ahead to the boys postseason.
Welcome back to Sports Jam.
Section champs will be crowned this week in girls basketball. Saturday marked a big day of playoff games. In the Section 5 4A semis, Champlin Park hoping to upset Park Center. Park Center's in black. Lauren Frost steals the pass and takes it all the way for the scoop layup as the Pirates get out to a 6-0 lead. Champlin Park claws back, though. Maya DuBose on the break sets up Michaela Counts for the layup, and the Rebels are within 16-15. Adalia McKenzie hits a three as Park Center closes a low-scoring first half on a 7-0 run. They take a 23-16 lead into halftime. They continue the run in the second half. Olivia McGill scores off the glass to make it 30-16. Champlin Park again fights back, though. DuBose spots Counts cutting free on the baseline for the layup. The Rebels are within 6. Park Center gets running. McGill grabs the rebound and throws it ahead to McKenzie for the layup. She erupts after a quiet first half. Amelia Valentino helped keep the Rebels in it, hitting 4 threes in the second half and 5 total in the game. But Park Center has a little too much. McKenzie drives and spots Aaliyah Ragulin for an open 3. She scores 11 for the Pirates. And McKenzie scores 31 points in the second half and 38 totals. The Pirates win 69-57. Top seed Park Center meets number 2 seed Centennial for the section title at Anoka High School Thursday. We'll hear from the Pirates later in the show.
In Section 6-4A, top seed Hopkins is a heavy favorite. The Royals met a team returning to Class 4A this season, Cooper, in the semifinals. The Royals turn up the pressure on defense and force a turnover. Maya Najee steps in with a steal, and she takes it back all the way herself for a layup on the way to an 18-point night. Just before halftime, Royals guard Paige Beckers takes charge, breaks down the defense, drives this one all the way to the basket for the lay-in to beat the buzzer. Hopkins leads Cooper 57-24 at the break. Second half, and the Royals on the run. KK Adams to Taylor Woodson, who drops it off to Amaya Battle. She scores, and the Royals lead grows to 40. Mimi Wheeler, it's a steal in the paint for the Hawks, and then throws a great pass ahead to Small Kamara for the layup. Kamara, one of 3 Hawks players to score in double figures. The Royals, though, cruise to the win. Nunu Agara with a steal. Threads a pass to Beckers, who nicely floats in 2 more of her game-high 24 points. Hopkins wins big, 89-47, the Royals' 59th straight win. The second semifinal in Section 6 featured Wayzata and St. Louis Park. Trojans' Mara Braun jumps in for a steal and sets up Jasmine Smiley for the pass and the layup. And it's an early Trojans lead. The Orioles don't play Wayzata tough. From the wing, it's Jordan Turek hitting for 3. Park goes up 16-12. Turek with 12 points in the game. Then it's Kendall Coley knocking down the quick turnaround jumper. 20 points for Coley on the night. The Orioles lead by 5. But on the other end of the floor, Park gets a steady diet of Annika Stewart. The 6'3" post player was too much for them to handle. She helps the Trojans go back in front before halftime. Stewart again on the block, gets in position and muscles in for 2 more. And they're up 40-35 at halftime, and Stewart with 36 points in the game. Second half, Stewart will start a drive and kicks it out to Lydia Hay, who hits for 3. Wayzata wins a close one over Park 71-64 to move into the section final. So once again, it's Wayzata and Hopkins meeting for the Section 6-4A championship. The game is 7 o'clock Thursday at the Lindbergh Center. In Section 8-4A, Maple Grove played a great semifinal game and defeated Elk River 70-54. Izzy Brandt led a balanced scoring attack for the Crimson, netting 20 points. For the 3rd straight year, Maple Grove and STMA play for the Section 8 title. The Crimson have won the last 2 seasons. That game is Thursday at 7 o'clock at Monticello High School. So some great local finals set up for our teams in Class 4A. Really unfortunate, though, that all of them are going to be played on the same night.
Yeah, that does make it tough to get to them all, obviously. And also in other classes, John Providence Academy in Section 5-2A, Heritage Christian Academy in Section 4A, still alive with those section semifinals and finals this week. The boys basketball playoffs get started this week. 2 local squads that have had strong seasons met up in their regular season finale. Armstrong hosting Maple Grove on Friday night. Armstrong gets off to a good start. Peyton Newbern is aggressive on the drive as he scores for a 14-5 Falcons lead. Maple Grove turns up the defense. Sean O'Dwyer knocks it loose to Lovell Williams, and then back to O'Dwyer for the layup as the Crimson tie it up 20-20. They crash the offensive boards as Williams grab the miss and take it back up for 2 of his 23 points. We'll meet Williams later in our Sports Jam Spotlight. Right before halftime, Adam Bewin launches from long distance, and he hits at the buzzer for the Falcons, and that pulls them within 1. In the second half, Bewin lines up a more conventional 3-pointer here, and he buries it for a 47-42 lead. Bewin is one of 3 Falcons in double figures as they knock off Maple Grove 74-66 for their 19th win of the season.
The playoffs tip off this week in boys basketball. Local teams earned top seeds in all 3 Class 4A sections that we cover. Defending section champion Park Center is the top seed in 5-4A. They are followed by Spring Lake Park and Champlin Park. Osseo is the 6th seed. In the quarterfinals Wednesday, Park Center hosts Centennial. Champlin Park is at home to face Osseo. The semifinals are next Tuesday in this section. In section 6-4A, Hopkins is the top seed. Cooper is the 2nd seed, followed by St. Louis Park, Armstrong, and Wayzata. The quarterfinal matchups include South at Hopkins, Wayzata at Armstrong, and Cooper at home against Southwest. And it's a quick turnaround to the semifinals Friday in this section. They are at Osseo High School. Maple Grove is the top seed for the section 8-4A tournament. They are followed by Moorhead, Buffalo, and Rogers. Quarterfinals are Tuesday, with Maple Grove getting a bye into Saturday semifinals. In smaller classes, Totino Grace is the 2nd seed behind Minnehaha Academy in section 4-3A. West Luther, the number 3 seed in section 4A. Should be some very intriguing matchups.
Yeah, we could very well see 3 local teams in the Final 8 again in Class 4A. Straight ahead in our Sports Jam Spotlight, meet a talented guard who hopes to lead the Maple Grove boys basketball team back to state. The Maple Grove boys basketball team won a conference championship in the regular season, and they're gearing up to try to win their 5th straight Section 8-4A title. In this week's Sports Jam Spotlight, we meet one of their leaders, Lovell Williams. He's come a long way in a hurry. Maple Grove guard Lovell Williams has blossomed into one of the area's best players in his senior season.
Yeah, my transition from coming off the bench to starting this year has been a big thing, you know, and my game has progressed a lot from last year to this year, and it showed on the court.
Williams fills the stat sheet.
Here's Williams attacking and scores the layup.
He tops the Crimson in scoring at 16 points per game, but also leads in assists and rebounds, averaging 5 per game of each. Not that numbers matter much to him.
I don't pay a lot of attention to the stats, though. It's about the wins, you know. Like, if we can make another run to state for our 5th year in a row and end my senior season, that'd be one of the biggest accomplishments.
He's a really good floor general, you know, someone that can lead us on the court verbally and through the actions, gets all of us open looks, gets himself open looks, and we just kind of, we play like through him.
The one that I like the most, they probably you don't stat, is he's our kind of our emotional leader. You know, there's guys who suck energy out of a gym, and there's guys who provide energy to the gym. He is definitely a guy that provides energy, and even when I'm down or sitting in the office, he'll come in the locker room hooting and hollering, ready to go, and he does it every day. He brings that energy every day, and that's huge for our team.
The old saying, players are made in the summer, applies to Lovell. He wasn't exactly a stranger in the Maple Grove gym in June and July.
This last offseason, I can say, when I look back, I can say that I did everything that I could to elevate my game.
You know, we have workouts in the summer 3 days a week, and he was a kid who always asked, hey, can I do extra? Can I stay longer? Can I come earlier? He put in the work, and that's something people don't get to see if you're not you know, tight with our program. But he definitely put in the work this summer to give him an opportunity to have the year that he's having right now.
Lovell's predecessor at point guard for the Crimson was a good one, and 2019 graduate Jared Rainey definitely helped Williams become the player he is.
As a junior and he was a senior, he was stronger than me. He could dribble better than me. He could do a lot of things better than me. And so playing against a better guard really elevated my game, and then seeing how he carried himself on the court and just little things he did here and there really was, me visually learning that was a big part of why I'm successful now.
Williams isn't the only Crimson guard to shine this season. He gives plenty of credit to a couple of teammates.
One of my teammates, Rashawn Parker, me and him got a lot of shots up in the gym, and we'd always talk about what we want to do this year, and we both have had great seasons, and him is one of the guys who I rely on in games to make shots, and I lean on him. He's one of the two. And then John Hawkinson, sophomore, a young guy, he's came up big, and as a sophomore playing varsity, you know, it's a young and you wouldn't expect a lot, but he's brought a lot on the court that helped us win games.
Maple Grove as a team and Lovell as a player weren't drawing a lot of attention coming into the season.
Williams fakes the pass and buries it. Boy, that was a big hoop for Maple Grove.
But they entered the last regular season game with a 21-4 record and ranked in the top 10.
Every year that I've been here, they've always said Maple Grove is not going to win this many games or they won't make it out of their section. And every year we've proven them wrong, and it's fun going into it and just watching people's eyes open as we string together a successful season.
Not that it will be easy, but Maple Grove is the favorite to win Section 8-4A for a 5th straight season. Lovell Williams hopes to be part of that, and he's seen firsthand how success breeds success in a program.
My sophomore year here, I had a red shirt because I transferred, and we went to state tournament that year, and me being just sitting and then watching all the guys play in the target center, that was a huge learning experience for me, knowing that, like, okay, when we get to that point, we can't come out slow, we got to be ready and embrace the moment. And I feel like if we take some of the young guys there this year, they'll have that same experience, and when it's their time to shine, they'll be ready for it.
Williams and the Crimson face the winner of the Rogers-St. Michael Albertville quarterfinal game in the Section 8 semifinals on Saturday. I'll talk basketball with the Park Center girls when Sports Jam returns. Welcome back to Sports Jam. The Park Center girls basketball team will be playing in the Section 5 championship after a hard-fought win over Champlain Park in the semis. We're joined by Lauren Frost and Nadalia McKenzie. And Lauren, this game was not an easy one. I know they played you close in the regular season too, but how did you feel about the way you guys came out and kind of finished things off in the second half here?
We just came out ready. I felt like we needed to play more physical because they were playing physical, so we needed to be more physical. And so we just pulled out the win and we played together.
Looked like your team attacked a little bit more in the second half too. You're maybe settling for jump shots a little bit in the first half. Did you feel like that was a key part of things too?
Yeah, they got in foul trouble early, so we knew if we drove, we would get 2 easy free throws, and that's easy buckets for us.
Last year, obviously, you guys lost in the semifinals. How good does it feel to kind of get past this round and now get ready to play for a section championship?
It feels amazing. We're ready. We're ready for Thursday.
You guys obviously know Centennial pretty well, having seen them and everything too, but you know, is it a matchup where you're just feeling like if we play our game, we've got a pretty good chance against, you know, whoever we're going to be facing?
Yes, our game, when we play our game, we're unstoppable, so we're just going to go out Thursday and do that.
Lauren, thanks so much for joining us, and good luck in that section final.
Thank you.
And Adalia McKenzie, you came alive really strong in the second half. What was the difference for you and your team?
I just noticed that I was settling, and the team knows we were settling as well. So Coach told us to attack the rim and get those easy buckets, and that's what we did.
Looked like Champlain Park's strategy was to play physical and try and bump your team around a little bit too. Did you like the way your team responded to that and kind of fought back a little bit on that part too?
Yeah, I did. We just showed that we got that fight in us, and we prepared for this, so we were ready for it.
We were saying in the first half that both teams look kind of nervous. I mean, you can kind of just tell that it's a playoff game, that there's more at stake. Did you feel like your team was able to kind of work through that and not be nervous in the second half a little bit more?
Yeah, we did work through that. We talked through what we need to do during halftime, and we just controlled the game and just played our game.
Getting set for a section final now, you know, how good does it feel to have a few more days with these girls and get ready for another big game?
It feels great. The job isn't done, so getting past this round is good, but in order to be great, we got to get that last dub.
Adalia, thanks for joining us. Have fun in that section final.
Thank you.
That's Adalia McKenzie. A big second half for Park Center in their semifinal win over Champlain Park. And again, the Pirates will be playing for the Section 5 championship on Thursday.
4 new plays are up on our website right now for you to vote on. It's our CCX Sports Play of the Week, sponsored by Chick-fil-A of Maple Grove. To find them, go to ccxmedia.org, click on Sports, and then Play of the Week to cast your vote. And here's last week's winner. The Fleury Final Day votes. David Ijadambola's ferocious dunk in Park Center's recent game against Maple Grove. 5,400 of you voted in the final 24 hours a week. Congratulations to David, and thanks to all of you who voted. We'll be right back.
Looking for local? Even more local. CCX Media connects you to your community and surrounding communities in multiple ways. CCX News connects you to your community through local stories that affect your daily life. Learn what's happening in your city, schools, and community. From top stories, sports highlights, and weekly features, CCX News offers truly local stories you won't find anywhere else. Our content can be watched at home or on the go. See all that we can do for you. Visit ccxmedia.org.
And that will do it for this week.
Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time here on Sports Jam.
Mark Tuesday, March 17th on your calendar for the Empty Bowls Robbinsdale community event. Find out more at ccxmedia.org under cities and in the community.